Traditional interviews have zero predictive validity. They cannot predict whether the selected person would deliver or not deliver on the job. And that's a big letdown. How do we address this problem? Behavioral event interviews seem to be the answer. While traditional interviews often scratch the surface above the water level in the iceberg, that is, pick up your knowledge and skills to some extent, may test your imagination at times. For example, people ask silly questions like, why do you want to join us? Where do you see in the next 5 years? Completely checking imagination, which can be manipulative. They really do not check the important goals like commitment, goal focus, employee development propensity, learning orientation, integrity, decision making, collaboration, conflict management, emotion regulation well. If you ask questions on these things, for example, if you say, do you really work in teams? Do you like working in teams? The person says, I love working in teams. I die for teams. And when you hire them, you find that that's the last thing that they do. They are good individual contributors, terrible team players, right? So, how do we sort out this problem? As I said, behavioral event interviews are a good answer to this, where we delve into the recent past on challenging assignments to find what they felt, thought, and did, and what were the results. For example, if I was to ask somebody, can you tell me a challenging assignment? And it starts off like this. You know, this was our biggest client. We had to deliver 100 machines to them, lathe machines to them. And my monthly capacity of 120 meant that our people would have to work not only for 120 but 160 machines, which means that we have to do double shift or at least work many additional hours. I sat down with my team and I asked them, what should we do? If we miss out on this client, we will have a big problem because this client is one of our major loyal customers for a period of time. Several of my people came up with good ideas. So one of them said, why don't we work 3 hours additional on a daily basis? That should sort out a big lot of problems. We have also space. Let's buy two more machines instead of the 10 that we have. Let's buy two more machines, which will help us create these lathes. And by the end of the day, we had a rough sketch of a solution where I jotted down their points. We listed which are feasible, which are not, which are financially possible, which are not, and we came up with a plan. We worked the plan to the T, and in 1 month, we delivered those 100 machines to the customer. The customer was delighted. So, here actually, I would be able to find certain competencies. The person is willing to listen to his team, values inputs from his team, creates an action plan which is collective and has collective commitment of the team, understands the role of a leader as a motivator, a energizer, but also as a person who doesn't know all the answers. Now, we'd also understand that this person has customer orientation, understands the customer's needs, values their contribution to the company, and keeps his promises, goal focus, result orientation. Now, this is something that is available from his own interview, his behavioral event interview, which can be cross checked, but most of the time when we go deeper, we don't need. The person would not be able to tell me or fib me for more than 5 minutes, or anybody for that matter, because these are scientifically proven tools to understand, assess, analyze the competencies of people that we select. And this, therefore, has very high predictive validity. At the end of the day, BEI, behavioral interview, is a structured process. It's not an unstructured interview like being unscientific. Unstructured interviews are unscientific. Different persons can ask different types of questions, but behavioral event interview continues to ask a series of questions which are scientifically set. For example, what was the situation? How did you come across the situation? What did you think? What did you feel? What did you do? Who else helped you? Tell me something more about this incident. What were the results? What did you feel when you got the results? So, these are the kind of questions which help us to understand the competencies of the person rather than asking questions like, what do you do in your free time? What makes you fall in love with our company? These questions, which I said just now, have zero validity, where the others have very high validity because it generates answers and data from the experiences of the other person, displaying their competencies, which can be mapped across the job description competencies that you need, and therefore they are relevant. Companies, leading companies, all have competency maps against the job descriptions, which can be matched with the competencies identified in the candidate. And if they have a good sync, we can select the person, having guaranteed a process where the predictive validity is very high. I've helped many companies. Some of them are Hindustan Petroleum Corporation, Tata Motors, Infosys, BPM, Sodexo, Cipla, Rallis India, Hincol, in building capability on behavioral event interviews and critical incident interviews. We can help you do that. We can also help you interview people for senior positions and mid level positions and map their competencies against your company's identified competencies for the job descriptions and give you a much better selection. Thank you. Would love to hear from you. My contact is given here as senashis@gmail.com or my WhatsApp number 93261 25430. Would love to hear from you. Thank you.